Was there a lean-in moment for you guys?
I think it's a coined term that we've been using for a long time. I don't think any of us are here are very bashful, especially when we're passionate about something and we're committed and we see the strategy and the tactical aspects of it. So the only twist I would add is that oftentimes I think we fail to recognize that there's a family element to every professional woman. So in fact, again, I'm the old one, so I will give you stories of when
Human being.
every
There's
person.
a human element. That's kind of.
I used to work a full day, come home, pick up my kids from daycare, have dinner, give them baths, put them to bed, get in the car and drive 2 and 3 hours to my morning appointments. Okay, that was very common. But I was taking charge of whatever needed to be done at that point. But I think my biggest lean-in moment, I have to say, was at Transplace, where I saw an opportunity to take charge of a department and make it more innovative. I had an IT background. I thought we needed to play more on that. So I was willing to take the risk. And it was a risk. Yeah, he could have easily said, no, thank you, I think you're not qualified for the job. And my answer then would have been, oh my God, now what do I do? But it was a risk, but we all have to take risks, knowing that there's, sometimes there's a positive out of it, which turned out for me to be the case.
Very cool. Andrea?
I think for me it was when I was in graduate school and I wanted to have a role in supply chain and get out of IT. And there were a lot of people who were telling me that I didn't belong in supply chain, that because I didn't have a background of experience in it, then why would you go over there? So what I did was created a presentation that matched all of the skill sets that are required for the department and for the gaps that they had based on the people that I had met when I'd worked on the project with them. And in that I wrote, if you had this role, you could answer this next layer of questions that you don't have answered. And oh, by the way, I have all of the skills for this role. And so the director of transportation at the time looked at me totally stunned that I'd taken the approach to really take what was happening in their department and turn it into a way to create a role that really did make sense, so much so that the entire plan ended up being created, including the other 2 people that I brought in to work with me over the course of the next year after that. And so I think that was my big moment where I sat down and made sure that it was very clear, like you said, you have to ask. And it was very clear what I was asking for and that I was qualified for what it was that I was asking for. And that the risk to them was far greater not to have the role and me in it than it was for things to remain the same. And I think in the past years, one of the things that happened is we survived the downturn in the housing market, which, oh, by the way, isn't really over. But we've had 7 years of loss, a net loss. Last year was the first year that USG was in the red, or in the black since 2007. I came into the position in 2006, and a lot of the first 2 projects that I did totally changed what the financial landscape would have been for what it costs to operate transportation in our supply chain. So to me, those are the things that make a difference. I think it would have been a dramatic change for the company if we hadn't done those projects. So that's an example of really taking the opportunity to lead it.
Created your own opportunity with a business case.
And I'm going to agree with Sheila. I think that lean in is overused, and I haven't read the book, so I can't really say. It's not leaning in, it's taking risk. And I think as women, a lot of times we're told, oh God, what? I can't do that. Take that risk, and what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And so I've taken huge risks, and with risk is reward. And if you don't take that risk, you're never going to get what you want, and you're never going to get ahead. If you fail, who cares? I mean, look at Donald Trump. He's failed so many times. And nobody looks at him and goes, oh, God, he's a failure. But as a woman, you're like, oh, God, if I fail, they're going to think this. Who cares what they think? Just, go with it, go with gusto, have passion, and just move forward. And for me, the biggest thing was, I'm a sole supporter for my family. And going from a company like Samsung, which is a big conglomerate, and it's safe. and they have stock, and they were willing to pay me more to stay. And I went with an unknown woman from Denmark who had 25,000 square feet. I mean, who can do manufacturing in 25,000 square feet? And I met with her and went, wow, she's got a vision, she's got passion. And it was the best decision I have ever made in my entire life. We've done some amazing things for amazingly large companies. I'm running a global supply chain for part of Ford Motor Company. We work with Apple, we work with Johnson & Johnson, and we're making a difference, and we're doing it as a diverse woman-owned company. So that would be my biggest thing. Take that risk. Great reward.